set up to where it just...
Yeah, I broadcast one stream and then it goes to all of them, and then we have to click special on Facebook. Facebook
cool.
is the problem child, but it works.
Nice, that makes it a lot easier.
There we go. All right. Hello and welcome to LPNN's live interview of Tom Bennett.
How's it going?
This is just look up there. That's actually the camera.
All right.
This is an interview with Tom Bennett. He's going to be playing tonight at State 48. And we thought we'd share with you guys what's going on, what his story is, and what he's going to be doing. So grab a hold of your friends, share the post, and we'll see you in just a second. And there we go. All right, that's out of the way. So once again, this is Tom Bennett, and he is going to be playing tonight at State 48. And he is on his, what is it called, the Song of the South tour?
Yeah, this is date number 2. We started in Kanab last night. Had a great show, and here we are.
Oh, so you're only on part 2 of this whole journey?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So all those cities that are, there we go, over that way. You're going to all of those different places, and we're only second on the list here?
That's right.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right, let's see. I've got some questions we have here for you. Let's see. How long have you been doing this in music in general?
Music in general, I guess technically since I was 3 or 4 years old, really.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I started singing, just like a lot of people do, just along with the radio and stuff. And I had a couple opportunities when I was really young to sing at different churches and things like that. And I was in a Baptist choir when I was 14, 15 years old. And around that same time, got in my first band, as a teenager, and played music in Georgia where I grew up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then always was in bands. But I didn't start doing this country blues one-man band until I was 32 years old. The specific day I started playing guitar was April 7th of 2013.
Okay. All right. Well, what made you decide to go that route?
It was kind of a matter of necessity.
Okay.
Bands, you've got anywhere from 3 to however many people
Sure.
that are trying to, create something artistic. And people's schedules get busy as you get older, and you have different ideas of what it is you're trying to do. And I'd sang for a bunch of bands and occasionally played harmonica.
Okay.
Been doing that since I was 9. And on that particular day, I went into work and was just kind of doing some cleanup at work, and they had an old acoustic guitar on the wall. And I asked my boss, I'm like, can I borrow that if I bring it back in better condition than I found it?
Okay.
And she's like, do what you want. It's been hanging up there for over 20 years. So I took it home, put new strings on it, cleaned it up, and started teaching myself how to play, and it just kind of rapidly went from there.
Nice. So you didn't know how to play the guitar before you picked it up off the wall?
Mm-mm.
That is impressive. I've been wanting to learn how to play the guitar for a lot of years.
I had too.
Yeah, I just never sat down and took the time to do it.
Yeah.
Like you said, schedules are always busy.
Sure.
So that's the reason you decided to go with a one-man band is just, people are busy, huh?
Yeah, it didn't start with the kind of what it is now. So like for people who are watching who don't know, so I play as a one-man band. I play the resonator guitar, or a lot of people call it a dobro.
Okay.
And you'll see it shortly when I play here on the show.
Okay.
It's a metal fronted acoustic guitar, and that's what people had before they had amplification.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
naturally louder, and it resonates the sound in multiple directions instead of out of one sound hole.
Okay, that
straight
makes sense.
at you.
That
So
makes
it's
sense.
good for street performing, or busking as they call it.
Okay.
And that's what I started doing. So I already played the harmonica. So I put the harmonica in a rack, play that, and play guitar. And I was doing that on days off in Salt Lake, where I was living at the time, and met some other musicians and got invited to play a couple shows. And the first show I played, I had 2 songs.
Okay.
And they actually had the same guitar part. And
Nice.
just a basic blues, da-da-da-da kind of thing. And I went and played, and I told some stories, and people really liked it. And I was, that's always cool when, you create something and people respond to it.
Definitely,
definitely
definitely.
positively. And Yeah, a couple other people were like, "Oh, come open for our band, or come open for this band, or that, or whatever."
Nice.
And I met this musician, Tony Holiday, and he tours all over the world and is based out of Salt Lake.
I think I've heard that name before.
Probably
Tony
so.
Holiday, yeah.
Tony Holiday and the Velvet Tones. They're pretty big now.
Yeah, that does sound really familiar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great blues band. And I'd been playing for maybe 3 weeks or so. And Tony was like, "Hey, how about you start opening my local shows for me? And in 3 months, when June comes, we're going on tour, and you can come as the opening act."
Nice.
I was just like, "Whoa." Almost
Kinda like all of a sudden,
and he's
like,
like,
whoa.
6 songs, dude. Just write 6 songs. And before we left on that tour, I had a full album done.
Wow.
And the first album was just, like I said, guitar, harmonica, vocals.
Sure.
And we were just about to leave on that tour, and I was playing on a place up in Salt Lake that had a big wooden stage.
Okay.
And there are all these people that were dancing, even though it was acoustic music, it's lively. And these people were dancing, and I was like, man, I wish I had like a drummer or something to make a beat for them to, to kind of amp the energy up further.
Sure, yeah. Definitely.
So I started stomping on the stage, and that kind of helped a little, but it wasn't,
Wasn't quite as satisfying.
enough,
Yeah, okay. All right.
A friend of mine was sitting in the audience, and I had a suitcase with those new CDs in it.
Okay.
And he's looking at me, and I see he's got something really going through his mind. And he dumps them out, and he comes up there, and he gets behind me like a baseball catcher, and he's like, "All right, kick this." And I'm like, "All right." So I'm like kicking awkwardly behind me. And it evolved into, I still use the suitcase as a drum.
Nice.
But we've got a drum pedal for a bass drum rigged up to it. So
Okay.
with my left heel, I kick that. And then on my right foot, I eventually added a tambourine and a shaker. And I
Jeez,
mic it
wow.
all and can adjust the frequencies that when people hear me live, it actually does sound like a trio.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I've seen you over at State 48 play before, and you've got a suitcase that's set up as a drum. I just thought it was like a nifty little, like a little thing you just had that was all your own. But that's really cool. I like that.
Started as just a practical thing,
Makes sense.
with that situation, and then when I would go out and play on the street corners. When I'm done, I can put my song notebook in it, my tambourine, my shaker,
An
whatever.
instrument and storage device.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
It's perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome. I like it. Let's see what else we have here for you. All right, so we covered that. Let's see, what made you decide to take on this lifestyle? You said you picked up the guitar and everything. Was there like some kind of event or anything that happened that made you decide to go ahead and just go out and start touring things?
Well, yeah. Like I said, I always played music. Always have loved, artistic expression, and for me, music was the one that I gravitated to.
Okay.
But it was those early encounters with other musicians like Tony Holiday, and I played live, with other bands. We did shows.
Okay.
But like I said, just as a singer, and so I always, as soon as I started doing this, I had intentions of, playing shows. But I never knew that I would be touring around the country and doing it the way I'm doing it now. I was lucky that people who already understood how to do that took me under their wing.
Nice.
And showed me how to do it. Because, I don't know, like when you're in your early 20s playing in garage bands and playing at dive bars, if you get paid at all, it's generally, part of the door money.
Sure,
$5 at the door, and the band may have like 40 or 50 bucks to split between them.
Right.
No way to make a living, And these blues guys taught me how to create a show. They're
Nice.
like, okay, first off, you gotta have enough songs to play for 3 hours. And for me, I tell a lot of stories in my show because I've lived a kind of life that the songs are coming from real life experiences. And I go, hey, this is about, when I hitchhiked 8,000 miles, or this is about when I took a Greyhound bus around the entire country.
Nice.
And I give the background. Or the song's about my mom and what she was going through with
Okay.
pneumonia in both of her lungs on her deathbed.
Makes
You know what I
sense.
mean? Stuff like that.
A lot of material to be able to create your stuff with.
Exactly. And I think at least some of the time, I think people hear those personal stories and it makes them listen a little bit more.
Yeah, it
Or
does definitely
sometimes
for me.
Or sometimes, as it's happened before, people are like, hey, wrap it up! That's happened before once.
man.
Once.
Oh, I hope it wasn't here. Oh no.
man.
Well, hopefully they picked the person up and carried them off
Hey,
for you.
hopefully they come back and they enjoy the show more.
That's all. Maybe they were just having a bad day.
Who knows?
Who
Or maybe
knows?
they were just having fun,
Yeah, it could be.
heckling me. It was fine.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
big deal. I started crying. I was like, stop making fun of me. Yeah, haven't you seen all the internet posts about bullies?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
No, it's
Have your little
cool.
safe space to hide in.
I love playing in Page, actually. I come down here a lot. pretty much just State 48. I did play one time at Wall-Wheat Marina.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. Up on the roof there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, of Latitude 37. That was cool. I think it was right before last 4th of July.
Was it?
But generally, once I find a venue where people are good to me, then I like playing there. And Adam and those guys, there's
they're great.
The whole staff over there is really cool.
Yeah, they're amazing. State 48 is like one of my favorite places in town. So
one of my favorite places anywhere, man. Like I play a lot of places that try to do what they're doing, but I mean, their food is always really good. Yeah. I like how it's a nice restaurant by day and then a fun bar by night.
Yes. Not
many places can pull that off.
No, it's very surprising how they've been able to everything just works. I don't know how they did it, but it works really well.
They're
I really enjoy it.
They're organized.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's good stuff. All right, let's see what else we got here for you. All right, what is your favorite thing about touring the country, sharing your music? So you've told us why. What's your favorite part of it? I mean, I know you have to drive all over the country. Does that ever get old?
Yeah, sometimes it does.
Long road trips?
But if I ever, with music or any kind of art, everybody hopes, to make it to the top, whatever that means. You know what I mean?
Well, it is what it is for everybody. I mean, each person has their own interpretation, I guess.
In any kind of business you do, you want to excel at it.
Definitely.
I think anybody with drive wants to do that. And, with music, people have this big idea of making it, and I think a lot of times that means, like, getting a Grammy and being on the radio, being in Rolling Stone magazine, being famous and rich, and there was definitely a time when I was younger that I aspired for those things. But I have to keep the right perspective. And I think perspective is important in life, period. If you got a bad attitude, nothing's ever going to go your way.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always.
And sometimes, when we're on the road and we're, people are like, oh, do you stay in hotels a lot and stuff? Like, no, not really. We either camp or we go with people that we meet at the shows and crash on couches or floors.
That's the way to do it.
Or a lot of times I tell people I've slept in probably every Walmart parking lot between here and Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, that's what they're there for.
That's right. Yeah. Some of them are shutting that down. But anyway, sometimes you do get worn out. And I got a couple songs about that, but they kind of approach it in a lighthearted way.
Okay.
Like we got one we shot a video for called Show Me the Exit Sign.
I love that song.
It's about just wanting to get off the road. But to be honest, I love it. It's great, man. Like, I was always a traveler. I was telling you before we started the interview that I used to hitchhike when I was in my early 20s, and I hitchhiked about 8,000 miles. And that's rough traveling.
Yeah,
that's rough traveling. I remember days on the side of the road in, like, Southern California, thumb out, sweating, no food, no water. Rough situations. But even looking back on things like that, it's like it's beautiful to look back on.
Yeah, it never is during the time, but yeah.
Yeah. So traveling like this, it does have moments where it's tough, but and you do have a lot of opportunities that look like they're about to happen that you think are really going to push you into that next arena.
Almost there.
Yeah, like meet people that can really hook you up with some people that could help your career, and then it just doesn't work out. And for a while, things like that would really get to me, and I'd take it personal, and it'd be a little heartbreaking, big country bands come to town, and you're the only one that really should open the show, but you don't get it, and it just happens.
Yeah, it does. It happens.
But, you just... I had a time, even a few months ago, where I was starting to be like, man, I don't know if I'm ever really going to make it anywhere. And some guy was like, oh, I'm so sorry. You haven't had to work a full-time job in 5 years. You travel the country playing your music, and you're making a living doing that. It may not be a glorious living. You may not be rich, but at least you're not doing something you hate for even less money maybe, or the same, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that honesty was really helpful.
Was it?
I know sometimes people don't like when people throw that blunt honesty in their face, but
it's usually the most helpful advice, though, as long as you can actually accept it, take it, and listen to what's going on.
And if it hurts you, it's probably because it's true.
Yeah, that's usually the way that kind of thing works.
Yep. And this person was somebody I don't really know well, but he said that, and I was like, man, you're right. I'm having a really poor perspective right now, and I do need to appreciate that because I get to go everywhere I want to go, and I mostly go to little towns, because that's where I want to be.
Sure.
Hardly ever go to big cities. I try to avoid that. And I've met awesome people everywhere I go. You know what I mean? And I get to play music, and it's cool. And I do have people come up pretty regularly and be like, hey, when you sang this like 3 hours ago, I really felt that. And when people share that with you, then you're like, man, that's why you do this. It's really meaningful that way.
Nice. That's good to hear. I like it.
Yeah.
So you love what you do. You love traveling. I mean, it sounds like it could be
especially
a good
in this region.
Yeah, I'll bet.
My first time coming through here, so I played in Phoenix. It was a winter time.
Okay.
And then my next show, I wasn't playing in Page yet. I didn't know about Page at that time. My next show was in Flagstaff. And it was wintertime, 70 degrees in Phoenix. Got to Flagstaff. Never been to Flagstaff, never heard of it even. And it was dumping snow.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I was like, what a beautiful town, And,
for sure.
And I was like, man, Arizona's a cool state, And, I saw my first saguaro cactuses that day down near Phoenix.
Nice.
And it's just really cool. And then down the road, the whole reason I come to Page is Kim Cranston, Adam's wife over at State 48, came into St. George and stopped into the place my wife was working and asked them, hey, we're looking for a musician to play our grand opening. And they were like, go talk to that guy right there.
Nice.
And it didn't work out for me to play the grand opening, but I did make it down the next week.
Okay.
And so I've been coming down here to Page ever since.
Nice.
And I played in Colorado City, and we camped out near Big Water. And
nice. There you go.
I put on a music festival in Colorado City. So
I remember seeing something about that online. You were over at the festival.
Week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love Southern Utah and Northern Arizona. It's by far. I mean, I'm from Georgia, and Georgia's it's home.
Sure.
I like it. But when I first saw this area,
it's
Cliff
amazing.
Dwellers and all that, the Grand Canyon, I was just like,
that's it.
You can't beat this.
Yeah, I keep telling people that come down here, it's like living in a postcard. I mean, I moved down here on purpose, I've been here for 16 years, and I used to live in Colorado. I do miss the mountains, and I miss the color green. But I visited here one time, and I decided to move down here, and here I am, and I love it. Every time, every sunset, I mean, everything. It has its moments, like with the crazy windstorms every spring and every fall, but those pass, and it's pretty nice out there.
Yeah, I like it.
So you love this lifestyle. How does your wife feel about this lifestyle with you constantly
being
on
the road? She loves it!
Yeah.
She well, here's the thing. She's not playing music up there with me, and she actually doesn't drink alcohol at all. And we're in bars. Okay. We're in bars almost every night.
That's got to be rough.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just sometimes overwhelming, I guess. But she likes it, and she likes to camp, and
that's good.
And she makes jewelry.
Oh,
so
nice.
Wherever we travel, we have a really cool merch set up.
Oh, cool.
And she helps a lot. So she helps set up and break down and. By that I mean the equipment, everything.
Sure, yeah.
And then she has the merch booth, and she's made a lot of good friends out on the road too. So she likes that, and she grew up in Washington, and we live in Southern Utah when we have the opportunity to be there. But she likes the traveling too. But it can, it can be a little rough. Like I said, a lot of camping.
Yes.
And stuff like that, but we've gotten we're pretty good at it,
Nice, good.
So it's
got your old systems made out and ready to go. Huh?
And actually, she really likes to cook good food. So places like State 48 and other places that have really good food, it's exciting for her to be like, oh, I like what they did here with the food.
And then come up with a recipe or try and beat it out of them, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like, give me that recipe. I need that.
Yeah, I need to know how you made that soup, guys.
Exactly. They've got some pretty amazing stuff. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's see. The last one on my list for now, anyway, is what is your favorite song? If you have one favorite song, I know a lot of people don't.
I don't have an all-time favorite song. I've definitely had songs that were favorites for a long time that I'll always love, but I think a lot of people nowadays have pretty diverse musical taste.
They do.
And I'm the same way. I listen to a lot of country music from various eras. For example, it seems like every time at night that we have to make the drive from Kanab to Page, we're lucky enough in our van we got a CD player and a tape player.
Nice.
And so we can find old tapes for cheap. And I've got a whole collection of Hank Williams Sr. tapes.
Oh, wow.
And they're slightly warped. So they kind of have this weird kind of, you know what I mean?
Just yeah.
They're altered in a weird way.
For those of you that are probably watching this, you probably have no idea what we're talking about, but
tapes. They're old, man.
Tapes. Yeah.
They're not quite as old as 8-tracks.
Not quite.
In places like last night, we camped out over by Big Water, and the stars were just huge, and I love driving through areas like that and listening to Hank Williams Sr.
Nice.
and things like that. And lately, we've been listening to a lot of found a big collection of Randy Travis tapes from, from the 90s.
Nice.
I love his stuff. Been listening to that. We also listen to a lot of Red Dirt country music out of Texas.
Red Dirt.
So Red Dirt's got a little bit more. It's country,
okay,
but it's got a little bit of a rock feel to it.
Okay,
and it's very fiddle heavy.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
nice.
so
I'm gonna have to check some of that out.
Oh yeah, like I would recommend the Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay,
they're excellent. Some of Miranda Lambert's music falls in that category. She's obviously very well known. We've been listening to her a lot. Yeah, no favorites, but and I listen to a lot of CDs of people that I get to play shows with.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
It's pretty common to. A lot of my shows are just me, but like I do have opportunities where I get to play with other groups.
Oh, you
maybe
do?
I'll
Okay.
open for them, maybe they'll open for me, and usually in those circumstances, it's kind of customary to trade CDs.
Oh,
I got a Lauren Walker Madsen shirt on right now. He's played in Page a couple times.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's played at State 48. He does some really good country music, real stripped down, rootsy stuff.
Nice.
Acoustic guitar, usually got a fiddle player,
Oh, wow.
sometimes stand up bass. So
That's
most
good.
of the friends I meet on the road, I listen to their music.
That's nice. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way when it comes to music. I like everything from Five Finger Death Punch all the way to like Beethoven. So
Yeah.
pretty much everything in between.
Well, people got complex emotions. You know,
Yeah,
and you
it
want
depends on
something
what
that-
I'm doing, what I'm feeling at the moment. You know, It does. So that's cool. I have I've got a little slide here that we pulled up earlier. You put this up. I would have had that actually in the background, but I wanted people to see.
You know, I appreciate you having the tour schedule. That's good. We're going a lot of places, so I always tell people look at the tour schedule, and if you know friends
you
in
fell
those
off.
areas, there you go.
Yeah, you fell off.
Oh God,
You're fine.
So if you got friends in these areas, let them know. So it's obviously Page tonight, State 48 Tavern.
Page tonight.
Albuquerque, New Mexico at Canteen.
Okay, at
tomorrow
Canteen.
at 4.
Okay.
So we're getting up early in the morning and cruising straight there. I'm looking at it too. Tractor Tavern the day after that in Albuquerque.
Okay.
The day after that, San Angelo, Texas.
You can look here too. It's a little
Perfect.
bigger.
That's bigger.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Port Neches, Texas. I've got a few shows out there. And then all the way through Lafayette, Louisiana, back to Port Neches, Texas. Actually, you'll see there's a week there where there's no shows.
Okay.
And so I grew up in Georgia, and we do this tour every summer, mostly so I can see my family.
Oh, okay.
They
That
all
makes
live out
sense.
there.
Okay.
So I grew up in Northwest Georgia. So we'll go out there and we'll see my mom and my dad, my grandparents, and all them.
Okay.
And then we'll go down to the coast and take 3 or 4 days off to just go to the beach and relax. You know, actually have a real vacation.
Nice.
And then coming back and hitting Bisbee, Arizona, which I haven't been to in a couple of years. Love Bisbee.
I don't think I've ever been down there, but I think Lois has. She's always talking about it.
It's cool. It's way down near Mexico.
Okay.
Kind of close to Tombstone.
Oh, all right. All right. So way down there. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Cool
right.
town, though. Very interesting place. And then... yeah.
That's Lois right there. She just says, I love Bisbee.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and then we'll come back to southern Utah, and we got tours that'll take us up to the Pacific Northwest. We go there about 3 or 4 times a year. And then we're doing a tour somewhere both me and my wife have never been, and we're really excited about it. We're playing a bunch of shows around Yellowstone National
Oh,
Park.
wow. Nice.
We've never been there, so
Well, there you go.
that's going to be cool.
Yeah, going new places is always fun.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Places that I love, like Page, I'll come down here anytime and always look forward to it. But there's something cool about a new place where you just don't know what you're going to see.
Definitely.
Hopefully not a bear climbing in our tent.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch out. Don't get eaten by a bear or whacked by a moose or something or an elk.
No, I hope not.
Yeah, that would be bad for you. Not a good thing.
No, that'd be the end of the tunes.
Yeah. So you said you wanted to play some songs.
I would
for us?
love to, sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to arrange some things here really quick. So bear with us. It's we're going from the live interview to behind the hat. So just ignore the next few minutes while we get everything set up and adjusted for you guys.
It won't take long, though.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. We'll just have to make sure the sound is adjusted.
He's
so-
just got to stretch and get ready for his dance moves.
Yeah, that's it.
Robot,
Woo!
maybe some robot.
Be like, no, you should see the morning show. We have some crazy music. We're just like, it's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. So
Nice.
I'll move this out of the way
All right,
here.
sounds good.
Stick that there, and I'll crank these things down
I'll slide
just
this
a
chair
hair.
over this way. If that sounds like
Yeah, just toss it out of the way there.
Those are nice, man. They feel like I'm in a fighter jet.
Yeah, I know, right? There we go. Kick that out of
So
the way for
I
you.
actually won't need this blanket, so I can just do this.
There we go. Shut that out of the way.
Pretty easy. Actually, make that real.
There you go. We're gonna drive the neighbors crazy. I love it. I'll get over it. It's a weekend, right?
Yeah. Always a good excuse to get a little louder.
That's it. Alright, so here in just a second I'll have you do some stuff and we'll make sure that the microphones are not overloading.
Sounds like a plan. I'll play softer too, just so we can help with that issue a little bit. No reason to be loud in a room like this.
Bet you that'll probably do her.
Cool. Let me get opened up. I'm gonna do. I'll do 2 songs.
Make sure you're okay. Good.
So let's check and make sure this little drum don't get too loud. I think we're set, man.
Nice.
Should we just dive into it?
Yeah, man, knock yourself out.
All right. So this first song I'll play for y'all is one I do at all my shows, and it's based on an old family photograph. So as I mentioned, I grew up in Georgia, and my grandmother had a room in her living room where she had the photographs of our family all the way back into the 1880s. And they were printed on tin and everything, and I used to love looking at these pictures. And the one that held my attention better than all the others was a photograph of a man in a white cowboy hat and a buckskin jacket. And I don't know what it was about him, but it was something about it. I was just curious about who he was. And I'd ask my grandmother to tell me, and I remember it always made her look a little sad. And she would say, "Oh, I'll tell you one day when you're older." And this went on for years and years. And when I started playing guitar and told her I was going on that first tour, she said, "I want you to come over all the way to Georgia and have a talk with me." So I went there, and she pulled the picture off the wall and let me hold it. And she said, "I'm going to give you that because this man was a country singer too, and he traveled around the region playing country music. And it was her dad, my great-grandfather. And he played his last show in 1973 at a Holiday Inn in Atlanta and went out for a cigarette break and died of a heart attack in the parking lot. And the story just motivated me. So I put the picture up every night at my merch booth, and I sing this song about his life at all my shows. It's called Roy's Song. Born amongst Baptists in Cedar Town, Bible leaves and blowing in the wind. Two Ferguson's of Georgia blood, some was born in 1917. His father was a farmer of the Crimson Clay. Among the strings and guitar strings, boy found his way. Loudly and proudly he proclaimed his valley where the soul never died. Gotta come and trouble waters of your soul, be baptized of all your sins. Long came love, just like it's supposed to do. Lord took the hand of Mabel with love was so true. Years passed and daughters came, fell on hard times. Lord scratched the living, driving cars off the production line. For Chevy, yeah. can't help, a man can't help but sing. So it was with old Roy, and so it is with me. Well, the final song was sang, and the lights fell low, and old Roy made his way out into the darkness of the road. In the streets of Cedartown, Georgia, out amongst Baptists, Bible leaves blowing in the wind. There's another old country singer who's laid down low into the clay so crimson.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So this other one I'll do for you guys is the title track of the album I'm recording right now, and this is going to be my first full band album. I put out my first album was The Man Who Shook the Trail of the Devil's Hounds, and it was just guitar and harmonica. I wasn't doing the one-man band yet. And then I put out a live album actually in Fort Collins, Colorado. It was recorded live on the radio out there. And then I put out a 3-song studio recording called I Am Everywhere. And that one won a Best of Utah award last year. That was really exciting to win that. And it's got a female backing choir on it. So it came out really good. But this next one that we're doing is it's called You Make Me Wanna Howl. And it's the first one with a full band. And I've got some of the guys from the Wayne Hoskins Band up in Ogden, Utah. They're a really well-known country band up there, helping me out with some recording. And then it's being mixed and mastered in Nashville by a guy named Mark Stankiewicz at the Sound Emporium. And a lot of people don't know his name, but they know that a lot of people know the album The Traveler by Chris Stapleton that came out last year and really did well in country music. Well, he made that album, and he did the last 3 Willie Nelson albums, Blake Shelton, a bunch of other big names. So hopefully that'll help a little bit, having him on the team for that album. So this one's the title track, and it's called You Make Me Wanna Howl. Well, I first saw your perfect face. Ooh, angel, white lights, open desert, red rocks collide. Well, it seems our souls knew just what to do. We spent the evening by fire, oh, by fire. Made for two. Oh, any bird. This conversation turned, and the light shone through. Now I can't shake these Asked if you would leave for me. You said in due time. And I could see in your eyes it was true. Stars, they seem to grow brighter at the sound. 'Cause baby, you will make me wanna have. Baby, you will make me wanna have. Baby, you will. Baby, you make me wanna have. Well, let's do a dance, break dance before. Wanna see you smiling on every golden shore. Let's go while it starts. Baby, it starts now. It starts now. 'Cause baby, you will make me wanna have. Baby, you will make me wanna have. Baby, you will. Baby, you make me wanna have. Yeah, you make me wanna have.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Well, I don't want to burn out your voice, so you got to go at what time are you going to be there again?
We're gonna be there early to have dinner, and the show starts at 9 o'clock.
All right, let me get your chair back over there for you. Gotta love small studio space there, huh?
Not the smallest I've seen, man. I've seen some pretty big radio shows operating out of rooms smaller than this.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm moving up in the world. Then. That's a good
getting
thing.
there.
So once again, for you guys that are just joining us here, this is Tom Bennett. He's just been doing an interview. Hi, everybody. Hopefully it's not too weird. There we go. I fell off my little plastic thing right there. So anyway, he's going to be at State 48 tonight. Let me see if I can fix our heads here. So we're actually, hey, look at that. And then we'll just transfer that over.
Look at
Bam!
that.
There you go, just like that. And
Technology.
then you'll see it over there. That's what everybody else. There's actually like a 30-second delay between what I see here, like when I broadcast. So when people message, sometimes there's kind of a.
Makes sense. Hey, it could be a lot worse. 30
Yeah.
seconds is not
Oh,
bad.
hey, we got some comments here. Mario, I believe, lives down in Phoenix. He waves. He says hi. He says Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there.
Yeah, we got a song for moms. I'll be playing tonight for sure.
And Lois says, y'all keep talking about State 48 and their food. It's making me hungry for them, too.
Hey, we're going down early, so if y'all want to join us for
Yeah.
dinner, feel free.
And Mario says, that was awesome. Yes, it was.
Thanks, Mario.
I know,
Appreciate
good
that.
stuff. So now you're famous in Phoenix now.
Hey,
Look at that.
that's right. I did play my first show in Phoenix on the last tour.
Did you?
Man, what was that place called? Do you remember, Becca?
Chopper Jones.
Chopper John's.
Chopper
It was
John's,
cool.
huh?
It was real cool. Old place. Old little biker bar place.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot
Hope
of
to
fun.
go back down there.
Nice. There you go. Well, we're definitely going to be there tonight at State 48 hanging out, so we hope to see you guys there too. Thank you very much for joining us. Tom Bennett, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you stop on by and say hi. You guys have a great night, and we'll catch you soon, I'm sure.